Hey guys, what's up? It's Frank here from Altcoin Buzz. Now, I've spent the last several days gathering a range of resources all about Polkadot. So I think that if you're investing in crypto, if you have Bitcoin, if you have Ethereum, if you have alts, Polkadot just has to be in your portfolio. This is of course just my personal opinion and not financial advice, but in this video I'm going to go over a range of reasons for why Polkadot is going to transform the crypto industry no matter what pretty much over the next few years. We're going to start off the video just explaining what Polkadot is, having a look at the staking rewards, looking at the blogs, the most recent posts from Polkadot on their blog. We'll look at all the many millions of dollars in the headlines recently which have been invested into Polkadot and its whole ecosystem. We will look at some more recent news of Polkadot over the last couple of weeks, which is very relevant and very interesting to show its potential. Of course, they have a big event coming up on October 15th. We'll briefly go through that. We'll take a quick look at their Twitter to see what recent updates they have. Then, of course, we'll have a look at the year plus 10 market cap, or basically the diluted market cap, because this will really help you to understand why Polkadot may be huge, why its market cap may continue to increase, but why the price of Polkadot itself might not increase quite as much as you might expect. Then we'll also have a look at some Polkadot gems. I'm going to tell you which ones I think have the most potential. We'll briefly take a look at Kusama, which of course is the cousin of Polkadot. And I made this post on the Reddit forum. What can we look forward to? What future events are there in Polkadot, or what has happened recently which is the most interesting? So we got a bunch of responses there. We're going to dig into what people have said here and see what's true, what's not. And then finally, what is a crypto video without a good old price prediction, right guys? So we'll do a DOT price prediction, see where and when DOT might start recovering and where might be a good time to buy. If you enjoy this content and want to see more of it, don't forget to subscribe, like, and hit that notification button as it really helps to support the channel. Before I get started, I just want to let you know that I am not a financial advisor and that trading and investing presents financial risk. Now, if you hear about all these projects launching on Polkadot, you have to realize that this hasn't happened yet, all right? This is all just in the testing phases. So Rococo is Polkadot's parachain testnet. So what they say here, earlier this week, we reached a significant step towards implementing parachain functionality on Polkadot. We launched a new testnet specifically designed for parachains and their related technologies dubbed Rococo. So again, the point is that none of this is actually happening right now. A lot of people are working towards making this happen, but it's not like Ethereum where you can start using it immediately. So this is definitely something which Polkadot are under a lot of pressure to start doing, because the more they wait, the more competing blockchains could potentially take business away from them. That being said, they do have very unique functionalities which may make it easy and attractive for developers to move their dApps onto the Polkadot block. Okay, so now we're going to go over the millions and millions of dollars which have been raised to promote Polkadot. So Refinance raises $3.9 million for cross-chain DeFi on Polkadot. This is according to an article on coindesk.com. So I'm not going to read through everything here, but they say here that Reef aims to solve the high technical barrier investors face when attempting to participate in DeFi, not to mention doing away with gas fees on Ethereum that are currently running at near record highs. So Reef wants to offer a kind of one-stop shop combining a global liquidity aggregator, yield farming aggregator, and asset management product. So this was just last week, September 30th. Then even September 23rd, a week before that, RockX launches $20 million investment program for the Polkadot ecosystem. This, of course, is over the next 5 years with a maximum of $500,000 worth of DOT per project. So, of course, this means that they will fund 40 projects at the very least. And, of course, in return, they will receive tokens or equity from supported projects. Now, the RockX team want to leverage their technical skills. With a strong technical background, RockX will also build and contribute technically to Polkadot. As if there wasn't enough news about millions of dollars going into Polkadot, just on October 1st last week, Equilibrium, a Polkadot-based project for cross-chain DeFi, raises $5.5 million. Now, they did this in a different way. According to this article on the blockcrypto.com, the money was raised via a new token swap method in which investors exchange their old tokens with new ones. Nonetheless, this allowed them to raise this $5.5 million. Now, to prevent this video from getting to an hour, I'm just going to very briefly go over the next bits of news. Polkadot Substrate 2.0 integrates oracles at a protocol level. So this is pretty huge because it means that they don't have to use Chainlink. They can basically be independent by getting these external price feeds and things all within the protocol itself. It remains to be seen if this actually gets used by developers or if they choose to use Chainlink instead. Then, of course, this news from last month, Polkadot projects will be able to mint their own tokens in 2021. This is, of course, a crucial aspect of a smart contract platform, which, of course, Ethereum had, which led to all these ICOs and millions of dollars going into the Ethereum network. Now, they mention here that this is an absolutely essential part of the ecosystem. And just be reminded, guys, that this is going to happen in 2021. So as much hype as there is about Polkadot right now, lots of these things which will happen, which are very important and crucial to its success, will only happen in 2021. In terms of recent news, they have this event coming up on October 15th, where basically all these people will be able to learn about what Substrate is. They will be able to share and discuss innovative Web3 solutions. They show here how it's very easy to join. You have speakers, of course, Gavin Wood, and a whole range of other speakers. So this should be a very interesting event, which would promote the use of Polkadot and make it easier for developers to see how to get onto Polkadot and how easy and how valuable it would be to use it. Now, the Polkadot Twitter is very active. They have several winners here of a virtual hackathon, which they have announced recently. They regularly have these Polkadot news threads, so you can check out what the whole thread is. There's a whole bunch of different news. One thing which is not so great is that finalization has stalled on the Rococo testnet and block production times are a bit erratic, but of course the devs are looking into the problem now. Okay, so before we get on to what we can look forward to in Polkadot and the price prediction where I think would be a good time to buy into Polkadot, let's have a look at the tokenomics of Polkadot, because this is of course a very important thing to consider when entering into a crypto investment. Is, what is the value of the token? How many tokens will enter the circulating supply? So if we go here on Masari.io, you can see that Polkadot currently has a $3.5 billion market cap. Compare that to Ethereum's $39.5 billion market cap. Now, however, in 10 years, the Polkadot market cap is expected to be around 11 billion. So that's about a 3x from the current market cap, whereas Ethereum's market cap will just add about 4 billion to it. So what does that mean? That means that a lot more tokens will enter into the circulating supply, diluting the price of Polkadot, unfortunately. So that being said, if you're staking tokens, you do get a yield, and this can prevent this decrease in price, which is of course why you have a strong incentive to stake the tokens if you're not trading them. However, it does mean that the market cap of Polkadot could increase. In other words, Polkadot could increase in the rankings on CoinMarketCap, on CoinGecko. It could reach second place, but the price could, basically not change that much or even go down. It's possible because basically you see the market cap will go up in value, making it higher in the rankings. But because there's so many tokens being added, the value of these tokens could go down. So this can be explained quite nicely in this visual representation here. Again, on Masari.io, you see this blue line which is going up. This is the rewards which you get from staking. So while it's great that you get these rewards from staking, it also means that these new tokens are added into the supply. And as you can see right now, we have almost a billion tokens, 1B here to mark 1 billion. Whereas in 5 years, this will be approximately 2.4 billion. So it really dilutes the value of these tokens. Now, one of the things which I personally enjoy about crypto is talking to people about crypto. So I posted this on Reddit, what can we look forward to, several days ago. So I've managed to have a back and forth conversation with some of the people who responded. So Amazing Place 01 here says, talk about the Treasury fund containing more than 8 million dots. He goes on to say that I could even ask for money to make top-notch video. Now, actually, I didn't ask for any money for this video. I didn't make a proposal. But if you do want to make, a very well edited, very well thought out video, then, you can always ask Polkadot, submit your proposal, and try to get money for it, try to get people to vote for it. Now, this 8 million dots, I couldn't find any sources for it. Montagne85 here kindly posted a link, and here indeed you can see on polkadot.js.org that there are 8.51 million dot available. So given that the price is currently almost $4, that means that there's $32 million available in this treasury fund, basically to help support the Polkadot ecosystem. So that's quite a significant amount of money. And wherever there's big money, there's smart people, there's people working hard to make things happen. Similar to Ethereum, there was a lot of money there. Well, there still is a lot of money there. But now Polkadot is really showing how a lot of investors are interested in making this happen. Now, I'm not going to go into too much detail about the treasury, but if you go here to wiki.polkadot.network, you can learn about the treasury. The editing is not that great. They have some things which I think they need to take out. But in any case, they go into quite a lot of detail here about funding the treasury, creating a treasury proposal, announcing the proposal, creating the proposal, and tipping, an example, and all this stuff, FAQs. But in any case, this article by Cointelegraph.com summarizes it a bit more succinctly. So Polkadot Treasury established to fund projects that give traction to the network. So basically the proposals may relate to infrastructure deployment, network security operations, ecosystem provisions, software development, marketing activities, and community and outreach events. Basically anything which you can think of which would promote the use of Polkadot. Now, a deposit of 100 dots or 5% of the total submission is required for each proposal submission in order to avoid low quality or spam proposals. Polkadot is not the only project focusing on supporting its developer community through direct financial support. Gitcoin Grants is a platform for Ethereum projects to seek funding. So just be aware that this isn't exactly a revolutionary idea, but nonetheless, the fact that they have this basically $32 million available for all these projects, all these initiatives to support Polkadot is definitely awesome news. Now, Reddit sucks _ Gorukus here says that they recently closed round 2 lockdrop for Plasm, which was pretty awesome news. Over 100,000 ETH locked, all signaling support. Very bullish for the ecosystem as a whole. So I looked into this, and this Plasm is basically a lock drop. So how it works is that you lock your assets, your Ethereum, for example, for a certain number of days. Then after a certain period of days, you withdraw your assets and you get these PLM tokens. And indeed, in this second lock drop, not just 100,000, but 137,000 ETH had been locked. If we compare that to the current price of Ethereum, that means that $47.95 million worth of ETH were locked. So yeah, that's pretty impressive. I'm not sure about the value of the PLM token if you just get it for locking your Ethereum, but in any case, there certainly is a lot of money going into this project. But just note that this isn't funding this project. This is, with the intent of taking the money out after a certain number of days. Where's my Bitcoin bro here gives a range of reasons. Parachains, see other comments. Obviously, there's a lot of parachains which are just waiting to launch. And when we do get a date for when these parachains will be able to launch on the Substrate network, on the mainnet, this will definitely see Polkadot rise in value. I mean, as people wait for that to happen, because there are dozens of parachains which are waiting to launch. He talks about better staking tools here. I actually read in the Telegram chat that some people are having problems staking smaller amounts of dots. So it's good to hear that they're going to have better staking tools. DeFi, of course, many of these projects are in the DeFi space, which is booming. Despite the recent retracements or even dumps, DeFi has been increasing incredibly in value since the beginning of the year. Smart contract chains like Moonbeam and Edgeware, and more and better governance stuff. Starting to see real blockchain governance in action. And here by Nulius _123 says things which I agree with. It may be that a great deal of DeFi winds up running as a constellation of parachains on Polkadot, all bridgeable to Ethereum. If ETH 2.0 is delayed or snags badly, I think Polkadot will pick up a lot of that business. That being said, there are a lot of layer 2 solutions for scaling Ethereum, so that is something to keep in mind, that we might not have to wait for ETH 2.0 for ETH to really scale. Here, Sentient True says that Polkastarter in 24 hours raised $27 million through Uniswap, the most traded coin in 24 hours. Now, I couldn't confirm a source which says that they raised all that money through Uniswap, But on Polkastarter here, if you go to CoinGecko, you can see that they had 17.6 million the first day. It went down gradually. It was in that range for 3 days. Then it was 10 million for a couple days. And now it's gone down quite significantly to just about $5 million in volume per day. However, considering that this project is in 445th place, that's pretty significant amount of volume. As you can see, the 24-hour trading volume actually equals pretty much the market cap, which is pretty uncommon. Usually the 24-hour trading volume is a lot less than the market cap. So it does mean a lot of people are interested in trading this. Of course, this is a new coin, and currently we're down 20%. So, like pretty much most of these low cap coins, they're really suffering with this recent pullback. So in case you're wondering what POLS is or what Polkastarter is, the concept is to create an interoperable decentralized exchange to the Polkadot ecosystem. However, it is entering an already crowded DeFi space. There are a lot of DEXs which are launching recently. So this is by coinmarketcap.com, by the way. In any case, POLS certainly is attracting a lot of volume right now. The killer feature of Polkastarter is the possibility of making cross-chain swaps powered by the Polkadot ecosystem, which can provide higher throughput for faster and cheaper transactions while staying connected to the Ethereum network and other blockchains for liquidity. So obviously, leveraging Ethereum and using lower transactions costs is certainly interesting. And according to this article, the project only received $875,000 in private sales, but they did launch this Uniswap listing where supposedly they actually attracted $27 million. I haven't been able to verify that fact though. Then here we have Alice Nekocat, Phala with private blockchain computing, Stafi with staking derivatives are interesting projects worth looking into, and of course Acala's DeFi approach. And then finally, this is probably the most important point, but unfortunately this is also the thing that we're going to have to wait the longest for. Here by Code and Coffee, he starts talking about parachain support. He thinks it will be here in a few weeks, but long story short, this is not going to be in a few weeks. it will be in a few weeks, apparently on Kusama, which is Polkadot's cousin. We'll talk about that in a bit, but this is not going to happen anytime soon. So I actually texted them in the Telegram chat to ask when these parachain support will happen. Here they talk about the parachain auctions that they'll begin on Kusama prior to Polkadot. It makes little sense for them to begin until we are ready to actually host parachains on Kusama Polkadot. So again, these parachains have not yet been hosted on Polkadot. There are a number of blockers. He goes over these technical issues which have to be solved. But basically, the reason I think that they're not giving a roadmap date is that there are so many things which are unpredictable, which they don't know if it will work, when it will work, how long it will take. So, this is kind of the biggest weakness of Polkadot is that, they haven't launched yet and it could be months. I mean, some people think it might be the end of this year. Red in Black Eagle here says that it's likely to be in Q1, Q2 of 2021. I wouldn't be surprised if we really do wait until mid-2021 to see these parachains actually launch on Polkadot. So this is definitely one of the weaknesses. That gives Ethereum a lot of time to, work on the staking solutions. Nonetheless, Polkadot still has the interoperability feature, the killer feature, which is why I think that, it's still going to be around no matter what. So yeah, for those of you who didn't know, Kusama here ranks in 50th place. Kusama is the Polkadot cousin. It's a Polkadot experiment, as they say. It's basically fast tracking everything that Polkadot wants to do. It's got almost the identical chain, the identical code to Polkadot. And they're basically trying to take higher risks to make things happen more quickly. So it's interesting that this actually has such a massive market cap. Now, in addition to Polkastarter, one of the parachains which I'm most interested in is Polkaswap. So as they say here, there is no decentralized exchange on which to have access to a multitude of assets on numerous chains. I think this could be one of the Polkadot gems. On this article here by medium.com at Polkaswap, they talk about why this is important. What is most relevant and needed is making cryptocurrencies we have today more useful and building decentralized and composable financial infrastructure for their users. So when you think of composability, think of Lego blocks. If you want to put Lego blocks on top of other Lego blocks, then that is composability. You want to have something which is composable, in other words, where you can put more Lego blocks on top of it and it all works smoothly. So here they compare Polkaswap versus Ethereum-based DEXs. Of course, they talk about the multitude of assets existing on numerous chains, how all these different chains will benefit from Polkaswap, how you'll be able to trade assets from pretty much any chain. It's really interesting. It's really exciting. I can't wait for this to launch. Lower gas fees, of course, they go into the details of how these gas fees are lower. On-time transactions, tens of thousands of transactions can be achieved within seconds, which is huge. But of course, they have yet to prove themselves. But then again, they have a team experience in building blockchain fintech. So feel free to read through this article, but I think that Polkaswap is an interesting project and I certainly look forward to it launching. Now, finally, we're going to talk about the Polkadot price, the Polkadot price prediction. So this article was written several days ago. Polkadot could incur strong correction as macro support nears. Now, I actually started recording this video yesterday when Polkadot was still within this triangle. But basically what I was going to say was that this is unfortunately a bearish formation where the price keeps on pushing at this lower range. And now, unfortunately, we have a close below this triangle. So it's definitely not good news for the short term in Polkadot. Now, the first and simplest thing that you can do when you see a price chart like this is see where is the next likely area of support. And really, you want to draw a box because there's not enough information to be sure of an exact level. I would say that the general zone is over here. This, of course, is where we saw several days of price action. Now, I think it's quite possible, and to be honest, I think it's even quite likely that we get down to this area. That's because I think that Bitcoin is going to make another leg down. I personally think that the worldwide financial stock markets are looking a bit dodgy, a bit dangerous right now. I wouldn't be surprised if we see another leg down there, bringing Bitcoin down, and then having Polkadot have another 20% leg down. That being said, if we do a Fibonacci extension from the bottom to the top here and assume that we really do get down to this price and then do a 1-to-1 extension, this would be sort of a very conservative target, 1-to-1. In that case, we would get a price of almost $8. So one scenario is definitely that we come down here, we hopefully find support in this area, and then we go on. Of course, it will take a long time before we actually get back to previous highs and to all-time highs, but I certainly do believe that Polkadot, there will be a lot of hype around it, as we get closer to launching parachains. So yeah, that's my brief Polkadot price prediction. Of course, we don't have much data to go by, so it's really hard to sort of use much data to make a price prediction. But this blue line, by the way, over here, this is actually what I would mark as red as resistance. This marks previous lows and of course an important resistance over here. So this might be a resistance on the way up. We may see some resistance as we get to that price, but definitely what we're seeing right now is not good. We have low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low on the daily time frame. So we definitely want to break out of this formation before we really seriously consider getting bullish. That being said, if you're a long-term investor, now is probably a good time to start dollar cost averaging in, just sort of buying a little bit every week for the next several months. That's what I would personally do if I was a long-term investor and not a trader. But because I am a trader, I will really be waiting for much lower levels, and then I'll be carefully monitoring the price to see when we have a trend reversal here. Now, one thing which is worthy to note is that the MACD here is registering a higher low over here despite seeing a lower low in price. So it's quite possible that we have a notable bounce back over here, that we go from this $3.8, maybe we even come back to test the $4.4 range. But until we break the sort of $4.8 range, really, where we really can't say that we're going to go on a next bull run quite as yet. We don't have any super extreme indicators that we're really oversold right now. So until we get either super oversold indicators or a change of the trends to confirm that we might have a new bullish uptrend, I wouldn't personally be buying here, at least not with the intention of selling over the coming weeks or months. All right, guys, so that's been it for this presentation for Polkadot. I hope you enjoyed it. I want to give a shout out to all the people who responded to my thread here on the Polkadot Reddit for giving me these sources, for example, about the Treasury fund. And in general, guys, if you are buying Polkadot, just realize that when I say that it should be part of your portfolio, well, again, it's not financial advice. Why I think it should be part of my portfolio is that interoperability will definitely be a huge thing in the future. Obviously, cheaper, lower transaction fees will be a thing, and Polkadot is trying to solve these problems. So that's been it from me for today, guys. I wish you the best of luck in your trading, in your investing, and with that being said, I'll see you in the next one.